Welcome back, Buck fans and RBT Nation. We are back again for another RBT live stream. Today's going to be a special one. We're going to go over the NFC South in its entirety, from the top of it, the Saints, obviously the Bucs, we hope, to the Falcons and Panthers. And we go over everything, player additions, coaching staff changes. Obviously, there's a big one on the Panthers, but all that good stuff we all want to know and to see if we will be competitive against these guys. But other than that, let me introduce Michael Pless, the co-host of RBT Livestream. Go ahead, Pless. How you been?
I'm doing well, Mark. Yeah, it's glad to be back on, and we're going to talk about the best division in football. And in my opinion, I think you agree with that. And you have a really good quarterback group. Obviously, receiver group is very strong amongst the four teams, and then you got some talented running backs as well. So a lot of good offenses, defenses, here and there, probably. But it's a talented group, and I'm excited to break it down.
Absolutely. And before we jump into that, guys, if you have any questions in the group chat down below, throw them out there. We'll throw it in there. Don't worry. We'll get to all of them. And then also, before we jump in, always like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff for us. We're growing here little by little, but it's all fun with all you guys interacting. So help us out in that situation. Other than that, let's go on to the cream of the crop of this division, they've just been dominant for years and years, and we hate it because of it. The New Orleans Saints. Let's check them out first. Obviously, this is a well-rounded team. I mean, you look at it, they still have their star-studded guys in Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, and then they go out and add a guy like Emmanuel Sanders just to bring even more speed to an already potent offense. And then you look at defensively, or then they add Cesar Ruiz, rookie, mind you that, but they lose Larry Wardford, who I was like, that's a big boy, 28-year-old, and now you're getting a guy that's like 20 years old, gonna be 21. So let's look at their offense first. What do you see in it? How do you see it developing? Do you see that Emmanuel Sanders addition is huge, or pretty much are they as steadfast and they're already going to be a damn good team?
Yeah, I mean, you know what they are offensively. I mean, they run, pretty much a couple plays, and that's pretty much all they have to do. They get Michael Thomas open, they find him the football. Same thing with Alvin Kamara. So, offensively, they've been one of the strongest teams over the last couple of years. Obviously, they've been competing, trying to get to the Super Bowl. Over the last couple of playoffs, they've been, knocked out on some controversial plays, I guess you could say. But yeah, I mean, offensively, I think they're good as you can get. Sean Payton's a really good play caller, and then they always add in like the wrinkles with Taysom Hill, and they do some different things. With Latavius Murray as well, who's a good addition, good running back. But yeah, Emmanuel Sanders, I think, brings a different dimension that they really haven't had. They really haven't had like a number two, receiver to go on, and now you add him to the mix. And then you have a Traquan Smith, who's a good speed guy. So they got some weapons to work with, obviously, and Drew Brees is still Drew Brees, so it's going to be interesting. Offensive line, I think, is still really good, regardless of the right guard change. They still have really good tackles, and they got a good center that can make things happen. So yeah, it's a tough team to go against offensively.
I don't think you really saw the full New Orleans Saints, though. I don't know if you saw it. Jameis Winston's on the team.
Right.
He's going to push Drew Brees, and he's going to take over. I'm sorry. It's going to happen. He's number 2 now, huh?
Yeah.
Is that true?
I don't know if that's true. I'm not sure.
I would say. But, I mean, guys, Jameis is there. He could just take over. It's not going to happen. There's no chance in hell to happen. Unless this dude gets hurt or based off the dumb shit he's been saying, people push him out. I don't know. But let's see. You really don't think that's going to be that big of a drop-off with Ruiz in there as opposed to...
No. I mean, I look at Ruiz. I thought he was one of the most, ready to play now. I think, obviously that's somewhere where defenses are going to attack, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. They have James Hurst as well, it looks like, as a backup. He's a pretty good, decent veteran. They also have Nick Eason, who started games for Minnesota. So, yeah, I'm not worried about that being an issue for them because they've always had strong offensive line, especially over the last couple of years.
Yeah. So in the group chat, there's Buccaneer Bruce. He said, okay, so the Winston weirdos. I love these questions. Said one of one, and his buddy Keith No Sweat said consistently that Winston struggled early because of the newness of the offense, but they refused to give the same benefit to the defense. He says, am I wrong in thinking the defense struggled early mostly because of the newness of the defense? I'll let you answer it first because I have a strong opinion on that too.
I mean, defensively, yeah, I mean, last year defensively, I mean, we're learning a new scheme. I thought they played pretty well throughout the whole season. You know, looking on tape, I didn't think they did anything, you know, that really put them in a bad spot. Yeah, obviously that their secondary struggles early, but you're talking about a unit that got better each game. So I'm not really going to be too hard on the defense last year because of the scheme change. And I thought they did a lot of good things as the year went on. Can't say the same for the offense.
I just saw a name, I'm agreeing on the points, but there's a name in the group chat. Raymond Van Dem Heen. I know I'm going to mess it up badly, but this is my reaction to this. Woo! I mean, Raymond's a huge, good follow, or I don't even know if he's a follow on Twitter, but he's really active in the Facebook community. Very smart Buck fan, very smart in general. Good questions. Thank you, Raymond, for catching up, actually being able to come join the live stream. But let me get to his question after I answer this one. I agree. Our defense, we said it in the beginning of the year last year, it was going to come together slowly. It was so many young pieces. It was bound to look bad early. I was surprised that they got that many sacks that early. So, yes, to answer your question quickly, yes. Because they struggled early, because they were young, it was new defense, total 4-3 to a 3-4. You had to expect that. Beef Tongue's in here too. Sup, ladies, he said. But let's keep talking about the Saints real quick. And let's look at their defense, or actually coaching. Yeah, obviously, Sean Payton, there's a reason why they win every damn year. Their offense, primarily run by him. Dan Campbell, an awesome assistant head coach, tight ends coach. We really liked him looking for the head coach court candidacy. I mean, they're just well-rounded all around. You haven't really had many big changes that I am aware of, correct? I mean, Dennis Allen's still there. So, I mean, it's just a team ready to reload and refire. But let's go into their defense. Again, just well-rounded everywhere. Cameron Jordan, 15.5 sacks last year. Sheldon Rankins, just a monster. I loved him coming out of college. David Ani Matmata, I don't know how to pronounce it, but he's good. Marcus Davenport, more of a bull rusher. Their linebackers are very underrated. I like all three of them. I mean, where do you see the weakness? I mean, Janoris Jenkins may be getting up there in age. Marcus Williams is going to get better just based off of awareness on the field. Malcolm Jenkins, another badass addition they had. And Lattimore. What do you see as anything as a weakness on that defense?
No, defensively, I mean, they have a lot of good pieces. I mean, you look at their depth. I mean, you got Malcolm Brown, who's a really good, solid player. They added Marcus Hunt, who's, decent, solid rotational player. So, yeah, defensively, I mean, don't really have much weaknesses as you see. I mean, secondary, I think they're well-rounded. Obviously, the addition of Malcolm Jenkins, I think, is big. You look at, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I think that's, he's a good player that they bring in for nickel situations. So they got a lot of good players on defense up front. I think that's where it starts. Linebacking core, I think, is pretty solid. DeMario Davis does a lot for them. So, yeah, it's a pretty well-rounded team.
Malcolm Brown's your backup run-stuffing defensive tackle, nose tackle.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Trey Hendrickson and Carl Granderson are your speed or hustle guys. I mean, they're kind of loaded everywhere you look. Anthony Chickillo from Pittsburgh, like Miami boy. I mean, they're pretty loaded everywhere. There's not many holes. It's pretty nasty to look at. I mean, ouch.
Yeah, they added DJ Swearinger as well. So I mean, yeah, a lot of good pieces in place. Again, there's areas where you can attack them, but it's tough to do. Especially defensively. I mean, they just have a lot of good things going for them. But at the same time, they do get burnt because they are super aggressive. That's just the way they play. So you got to kind of play into that and take advantage of it. But you have to be smart in how you play them because they will force you into things that you don't want to do offensively.
Yeah, they are pretty damn good, though. I mean, I just looking over it again, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, from a talent standpoint, they are at the top of the food chain for sure.
I mean, I almost see them more deep on defense than they do on offense. I mean, offense, definitely. Yeah, they have their great offensive line, and then you have Drew Brees who can just dime it to anyone. And then Michael Thomas is your true star. I mean, Sanders just spreads the field. Everyone else behind them is just kind of catch it if it comes to you. And then Kamara just do everything running back. Hopefully he gets beat up again early, and at the end of the year he looks not like Alvin Kamara. But before I move on, I want to get to Raymond's question. He said, with Breeze, obviously his arm is declining. Is it realistic to expect them to be the top dog in the South this year? I know to be the man, you have to beat the man. I didn't even know he said that before I put that out there. You have to beat the man, but I think the Bucs are the team to do it. What's your point? Plus, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints are definitely the one to go after, and like you said, you got to beat the man to be the man, and I think this, yeah.
Really got out of hand fast.
All right, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, I think the Bucs are definitely in position to challenge. They have the roster, to compete, but it's gonna be tough. I mean, the Saints have been so close to the Super Bowl over the last couple of years, and they have a top to bottom roster right now, and probably, I mean, you're looking at it, objectively, they have a better roster than us. I think so. I mean, just looking at it from every position down the line, they have a little bit more depth than we do. So they have a little bit more leniency there as far as injuries go. I think if we lose a couple of key players, then we're kind of out the door. But so it's critical for us to stay healthy. But the Saints, very tough team. Looking at it.
Yeah, I mean there's not many holes top to bottom, guys. Let's just be honest. People are saying in the chat, Bucs D over Saints D. I mean, youth-wise, we're there. I mean, we're very aggressive as well. But just looking at the team in general, like, I'm going to give them their respect. They're well-built. They're well-coached. They're going to be a hard team to beat, especially week one. So I'm not going to say it as a pure homer saying that we're going to win no matter what, because looking at a roster like that, that's loaded. The same thing with teams looking at our roster, seeing that we have Tom Brady with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard, Gronkowski, Cam Brate. We're freaking loaded as well. So I understand they're looking at us that way, but we have to give them the respects as well, considering how loaded that team is. Like, I want you to understand like how deep a team is that has Carl Granderson, Malcolm Brown, Marcus Hunt, and Trey Hendrickson as their backups. And Malcolm Brown was starting for the Patriots.
Yeah, it's really good.
So,
good roster, and they've done it before. We haven't done shit yet, so you got to give them respect, and they've been the champions of the division the last couple of years, and rightfully so. We didn't even talk about Jared Cook, who's a really good damn tight end. So they added Adam Trotman, the rookie, so they got some good pieces here. To work with. It's going to be tough. I didn't even see Ty Montgomery's on their team, so yeah. I mean, they're a loaded roster. They're a loaded roster. I mean, they got a lot of good things to work with.
Yeah, I mean, how's the saying go? It's like the guy at the top. You got to push the guy over the top before whatever. I don't know. I butchered it. Raymond said it best. To be the man, you got to beat the man. That's honestly how it is, and they've just dominated this division for years. So this is the team to beat. Other than that, any other points you want to touch on the Saints? I mean, I'm checking in the group chat. People are saying bold prediction. This is TB teams 4. Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean will lead the secondary in pass defense this year.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, as far as the Saints go, I mean, again, just looking at it, they're, complete team, coaching staff. They got everything you want out of a football team, and they're going to be hungry. They want to get to the Super Bowl. They've been so close over the last couple of years. So, yeah, they're our biggest challenge for sure. And I think they're the biggest challenge of this division for every team. So it's going to be a tough out. They're going to be right there in the mix of the NFC, top rosters as far as teams go. And so, yeah, week one, we face them, and we'll see how good we are real quick, because they will show us.
All right, before we move on to the next team, guys, if you just joined the chat, make sure to please like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff for us. If you haven't subscribed yet, go do it. We're trying to give out some good Buck content and player reviews, player film studies, and we're going to keep bringing it week after week. So, guys, I hope you guys are enjoying it. Other than that, let's keep moving on. Rick H. in the chat said, Bucs have better receiving corps, QB, defensive line, linebacking corps. So he gave us a lot. And then Saints just have a better running back, O-line and secondary. You agree with that?
Well, I mean, when I look at it from, you match up starter versus starter, I think I could agree somewhat of that, to a point. But just looking at the overall team and depth, I mean, the Saints have the edge. I mean, injuries are going to play a part this year. And, if we can stay healthy throughout the season, then great, because I like our starters. I like our 22. But when you get into, our backups, that's when things, are a little bit less desired.
Yeah.
As far as comparing it to a team like the Saints. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously, if you look at Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, sure, yeah, those are the best receivers in the league, I would say, as far as duo goes. It's hard to match up against those guys. But they still have Michael Thomas, who's really good, and Emmanuel Sanders isn't a bad number 2. So, I would put that as, it matches up pretty well for both teams. So, the Saints are they're damn good. Yeah. And until we prove otherwise, then I can't really, say anything other than that.
Okay. Yeah, let's get off their one-eyed monster right now.
Right.
Stop polishing that off, because they're good, but like you said, we're also stacked as well. And
definitely.
I agree with you though. Defensive line, we're one injury away from not being that good of a defensive line.
Exactly.
In the middle, and I think everyone knows who follows us, who that guy is. But other than that, let's move on to the next team. That is the Atlanta Falcons. I want to start talking about them first.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they've been to the show before. We know who Dirk Cutter is. We know who Raheem Morris is. We don't know who this Ben Kotwicka is. I don't know who the hell that is. But they got beat in the Super Bowl by our quarterback, Hall of Famer Tom Brady. Either way, they know how to get there. They have a freaking stout offense. Julio Jones is still there. He's probably top 2, if not the best wide receiver in the league. Calvin Ridley's just getting better year by year. They add Laquan Treadwell. This Christian Blake guy actually did well against us last year. This offensive line is their biggest weakness, again, still to me. You saw in our Vita Vea film study how much he just demolished Alex Mack, Clifton Lindstrom. He just put them on skates. They were young. They were still learning. Jake Matthews has no excuse. He's been in here for a while. So I think that's where our defensive line can win. They're going to be asking Matt Ryan again to hold the ball, throw it deep. I think either way you look at it, they're going to be potent on offense. They're going to score points. They're not going to be out of any game. I don't see Todd Gurley as being just a grounded and pounded, give it to him 25, 30 times a game. I just don't. He's going to get hurt. I think they're asking too much of him. But early on offense, do not sleep on them. They got a coaching staff that knows how to do it. He puts up points. Raheem Morris can make changes at halftime and get the defense better. So, plus, what is your initial thoughts?
Yeah, when you look at the Falcons, obviously it starts with Matt Ryan, and that's what I talked about this division. I mean, it's quarterback heavy. You got probably 4 of the better quarterbacks in the league, manning these teams in this division. So when you look at Atlanta, I mean, yeah, Matt Ryan is still really damn good. I mean, he can make a lot of things happen. He throws with anticipation, and that's what makes him dangerous, because his offensive line doesn't have to be as good because he gets the ball out of his hands. Now, with this offense and the way the scheme works, I mean, we know it very well. They try to attack downfield and get things done vertically. And like you said, Julio Jones is still really, really damn good when healthy. And then you have Calvin Ridley, who's a very savvy, route runner and guy that can make things happen too. So, yeah, they got some pieces for sure. I think the X factor is going to be Todd Gurley, depending on his health and how much, they can get out of him and what they're going to utilize him like. Probably use him more as a receiving type back, I'm sure. Get the ball out of Matt Ryan's hands a little bit faster and help the offensive line. But, yeah, like you said earlier, their offensive line is definitely a weakness. I think that's somewhere where you can attack. Our defensive line had very good success last year against them. So that's where I would, see as their main issue for them going into this season is that offensive line. Can it be better? Can it mature and be more consistent? But still a really good team, that can put up some points if given, what Matt Ryan needs, and that's time.
Yeah, that's a big if, considering how good our defensive line can be. And then, like you said, relying on Todd Gurley, I gave the point earlier, that's not a good thing to do. You just shouldn't do it.
Right.
I just think Matt Ryan's anticipation, like you were mentioning, is really that good and can be that big of a difference. with healthy weapons. I mean, Julio Jones, if healthy, can just roast teams. I mean, he had a 300-yard game against the Panthers when they were game planning for him. So that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go to the group chat real quick. Rick H said, RBT, I was your 205th subscriber and been a Bucs fan since 1976. Thank you, Rick. And I wish I was alive then, so I wish I would say it with you. I've been it since 89. I guess that's long enough for me. Right? So Stratton Epperson said Todd Gurley will be worn down and beat up by the time we face him at the end of the season, and he will be a non-factor. I agree. Really enjoyed your Rojo breakdown. Thank you, TV Teams 4.
Appreciate it.
Who's the best corner out there? Don't you think we need a vet to cover guys like Julio and Michael Thomas? That's from Alex Fox. I mean, I guess touch on that real quick before we keep going on to the...
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it just comes down to Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean, those guys stepping up and growing into, what they're going to become. And I think really good players. And I think they've shown, definitely the capability of finding ways to stop those guys. I think they've shown glimpses of, having success against them. I mean, maybe not Michael Thomas, because Michael Thomas just gets open against everybody. But, I think Julio, they did some things better last year against him. But, yeah, I think it's just going to see how these guys mature. I don't think they're really going to add anybody from, a veteran standpoint. I think these are our guys, and we're going to let them play.
Yeah, so that's something where we've been touching on. We've invested so much in the secondary. You have to believe that they're just going to let that run. If anything, you would have had a veteran safety to help them out back there. It looks like they're letting these guys grow and develop together. I mean, Sean Murphy-Bunting in the nickel, he looks like he's a very smart guy. He's very cerebral. Dean and Carlton on the outsides. I mean, you got to let your young guys that you drafted mature and grow and learn how to cover these so-called all-stars or superstars. You can't let them think the game's bigger than it is. It's still covering the guy right in front of you. And I think the biggest maturation for our defense will be they know where they need to be now. Now they're going to be scheming and looking at the offense, saying, how the hell are they going to try and beat me? Because I know where I have to be now. I'm just wondering, we're leveraging. Why are they rubbing more on the inside? Are they going to kick it outside? Like, they're going to think more cerebral now. Now that they know they're solidified, I got my spot on the outside, I got my nickel corner, they're just going to go gel better together as a defense since the whole young group is growing together. I mean, there's no other better way to say it. And you wouldn't want to bring in someone that isn't familiar with the defense just because they're a bigger name that will just mess up the maturation of the whole defense in itself. I mean, defenses are reactionary. And if all these guys know how to react together the same way, that's the best answer right there. But let's keep going on. Let's go to the Falcons defense. Let's look at them there. And also, let's look at their defense. I don't even know I was going to mention that. Their defense, they added Marlon Davidson, second round, who's a really good defensive end out of Auburn. But they also added Dante Fowler, defensive end from the Rams, to go along with Tack McKinley, Grady Jarrett. I mean, this is the meat right here to go along with Marlon Davidson. He probably will win a spot in the starting lineup. I honestly think he's that good. Charles Harris as well. So they got a couple of edge rushers. I mean, he hasn't shown up much, but he will. I mean, he had ability in Missouri. So, I mean, they've added a couple speed edge rushers. Guys, wait for our Donovan Smith video coming out soon. There's a little a hint. So he's going to be going up against these guys. But Deion Jones, rookie A.J. Terrell in the first round. Could have been a reach, but we'll see. Keanu Neal, if he can stay healthy. Isaiah Oliver. I don't know what they're going to do with their safety exactly, but what do you think of their defense, and where do you see the weaknesses in there?
Yeah, I mean, defensively, obviously, they've added, some good pieces, like you said, up front. Dante Fowler, again, a guy that can, provide some speed edge rush to their team. With Raheem Morris, I mean, he's going to play a couple of different things defensively. He's going to play multiples, so he's going to bring some 3-4 looks, some 4-3 as well. So they got some guys in there, as you can see. Charles Harris, obviously they're a little bit more athletic up front because they want to do some different things, and as far as coverage and as far as their blitz packages. So looking at it, linebacking core I think is pretty solid. You have Deion Jones. They must have lost. They lost Devondre Campbell. I guess he left.
He went to the
Free agent.
Cardinals.
That's right. Okay.
Big contract with the Cardinals. I think it was only like 2 years though.
Yeah, that's a big loss. I mean, and they've added. It looks like they got Deion Buchanan from us, so I see that. Yeah, I mean, obviously Keanu Neal, I think, is a big addition, bringing him back. They missed him dearly last year. He's a really good player. They still have DeMonte Crazy, who's pretty good. Ricardo Allen. So they got some, guys left over. Isaiah Oliver, I guess they're expecting him to take that next step. But yeah, AJ Terrell, he was the surprise pick of the first round, kind of. I mean, didn't really expect him to go that high, but he's a good player. I think he fits what they want to do defensively. But yeah, I mean, their main things are up front. That's where they're going to have success if they do have success, because with Grady Jarrett and the other guys that we mentioned, that's where they have to win, is up front, because their secondary is going to be the weak link. I mean, that's where you're going to attack them defensively.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and especially if they're going to want to be, I think that's why they got these edge rushers, because they know they aren't going to be able to stop people with their corners. I mean,
right.
They lost their best corner in Trufant. You bring in a rookie to kind of step up for him. I don't know what the hell the thought process is in that. Isaiah Oliver's been all right. Hasn't been anything stout. I think overall our offense can take them. It's just don't sleep on them. Grady Jarrett can cause some massive havoc in the middle, and that's the closest man to the ball, and that's right in front of Tom Brady's face. So I would be very worried about him. I know Ryan Jensen's good, Marpet's good. It's just still, you got to respect your opponent and look at what they're bringing to the table, and that's why we're kind of doing this show today. And then, like Tack McKinley, good edge rusher. Dante Fowler, good edge rusher. Charles Harris, good edge rusher. So it's another team that kind of built speed on the edges. I still think we match up very well against them. A lot better than the Saints, obviously. But, again, if healthy, they have athleticism all over. Deion Jones, Keanu Neal, and Grady Jarrett, those three at each level are just phenomenal, if healthy. So I wouldn't sleep on them. And then, obviously, I kind of touched on it about their coaches. Dan Quinn, that massive-ass neck. Raheem, Dirk, I don't care if you like him or hate him. He knows how to throw the ball deep. I didn't think he knew how to be a head coach, but hey. And Ra, I loved him when he was here. He was exciting, but hey, he's going to get his opportunity again. I know he will. There's actually some feud in the chat. Actually, I want to mention this. So people are saying how Evans doesn't kill everyone, like Mike Evans doesn't kill everyone. You hardly see him having touchdown catches like against the Rams and Colts. Evans has never been a burner. There's a reason why we didn't get Ramsey. I guess people were talking about corners, but Mike Evans, this is something I kind of want to touch on. A lot of this is also, like, I refer to this as quarterback personality. I mean, James was more of a laser the damn ball in type of guy. And Mike Evans, if you want jump balls in the corner of the end zone or fade routes, you got to be able to fade that thing up there. And James didn't really do that often. He wanted to laser it. I mean, you saw some of the balls he threw to Chris Godwin for touchdowns. It was either a last option, it was just throw it up because holy shit, I'm about to get sacked, or it was I'm going to throw it as hard as I can at you, and either you're going to catch it or it's going to hit the ground. And I think that's the difference of what we're getting right now with Tom Brady, a guy that knows his players and knows how to set up every type of throw because he knows what weaknesses every defense has. And if they're weak in a soft spot, deep corner of the end zone, fade routes are going to be there. And I think he can do that. I mean, tight end, wide receiver alike. Anything you want to touch on that?
No, I would just say Mike Evans, I think he can win deep consistently. I think he can win anywhere on the field consistently. I think if you go back on the tape last year and see how many times Mike Evans didn't get the ball downfield when he was open, it'd be a pretty high number. And, his touchdowns would probably be a lot more than what he had over the last couple of years if he had a quarterback that understood how to throw to space and how to throw with timing. It'd be a little bit different. And that's no shot at Jameis. Jameis is just who he is. That's, he plays a different style of quarterback. But looking at Mike Evans, he can win any way possible. The guy's that damn good.
I fully agree with Mike Evans. I think that's going to be down the road film study. We have a lot of guys who do, guys. But Raymond came up again. He said, are the Bucs going to be able to play against Atlanta? I mean, those new uniforms are going to have the Bucs rolling on the field laughing their asses off. You know what? While you're answering that, I'm going to go look up their uniform because I think I posted it when the Panthers talked about it. The Panthers were joking about the Falcons uniform.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, it's I mean, when the Bucs and Falcons play, I mean, it's going to be tough because they do have similar colors. So, I hope we're focused on our guys and get the ball to the correct people, and same thing defensively. I hope we get after who we need to get after. So it'll be interesting to see the new uniforms. I think across the board, a lot of teams change their uniforms this season. So I like our look. I like how we changed ours. Yeah, you look at them there. I mean,
Looks like the longest yard.
Yeah, I mean, mean machine.
Mean machine.
But
it does.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully they play like in their white uniforms and we play in a red or something like that. I'm sure, and usually the NFL does a good job of making sure teams don't look exactly alike as far as, when they're playing against each other, as far as color scheme goes.
Yeah, well, good question, Raymond. I think it's more,
appreciate it.
They will laugh. Hopefully Tom Brady's laughing because he's throwing touchdowns all over them. That's my biggest thing. J.M. Moore said, didn't Raheem take over the defense end of the last year? I believe he did.
Yep, he did.
Yeah, they're still talking Mike Evans big time in the chat. We gave our 2 cents on Mike Evans. I guess let's move forward. I mean,
Mike Evans is good, man. I mean, he just broke Randy Moss's record, so let Mike Evans be Mike Evans. The guy's he's talented.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he has a Hall of Fame quarterback to throw to him. I kind of touched on that with Brady's decisions and how he can throw the ball. Let's see what happens now. Can it get any better? Let's see. He does drop an occasional ball. I'll be honest, he does. No one tries to run before he has in his hand. So he's
no one's perfect.
Yeah, but other than that, consistent damn player.
Yeah,
you can't knock that. But overall, I mean, Atlanta. I'm going to end it on this. Do not count them out at all. I'm going to say that 100% over and over and over going into the season as well. I mean, they didn't. Besides Marlon Davidson, I don't see any wow rookies they have.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, can this defense stay healthy? Because they will get after it with these guys, these younger speed rushers. But
they're going to be competitive. Yeah. They're going to be a competitive team, and they're definitely going to be one that we're going to be battling with, to challenge the Saints. That's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah. So if you would say a surprise team, it'd be them.
Sure.
All right, let's move on, and let's go over to. Actually, before we move on, always. Guys, if you're on the chat, you haven't commented, subscribed, or liked, get the heck in there, guys. What the hell are y'all doing? We need your assistance.
Yeah, we need to get to 680 by tonight, so make it happen.
All right, guys. Well, let's jump into now the Carolina Panthers depth chart. Whole new coaching staff. Let's go over that first, actually. Matt Rule, head coach, coming over from Baylor. You're going to see all nothing but new names. Joe Brady, everyone knows that name. Those LSU's.
That's a big get.
Offensive pass caller or play caller. Pass coordinator. There it is.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm shitting the bed today. And then all these damn names. This guy is probably younger than I am.
Yeah.
Jeez. This guy sure as hell isn't. But, I mean, I don't know any. Matt Lombardi, maybe. But a whole bunch of. Frank Oakham. Wow.
There we go.
I didn't know that. Holy hell. But yeah, a lot of guys that you don't really know. He was in the league. That's why we know him. But
he was a Buccaneer.
Yeah, for a 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the biggest thing with Matt Rule that I always want to touch on. When he was with Temple his first year, 2013, 2-10, just destroyed the team. 1-7 in the conference. Second year got better. Third year, they're competitive fourth. That's even keel. First year of Baylor, 1-11, 1-8 for the conference. 7-6 later. Third year, he gets better. So obviously the trend is he shits the bed the first year just to gather the guys that he wants to play his defense, his offense the way he wants it. And then he just grooms them to be what he wants. So what do you think this year is going to be under Matt Rule? I think it's going to be a shit show. Let's just be blunt about it. Yeah. I mean, you brought over a quarterback you think you want, but you only gave him 2 years. Your offensive line, I think you traded for Russell Okung, okay, but then you traded your best guard, correct?
Mm-hmm.
For him. So your interior just got mangled. You have DJ Moore, who has potential out of Maryland, who could be something. You signed randomly Robbie Anderson. Didn't get that. When you have Curtis Samuel there. I mean, I thought you would just groom these two. Now you're kind of pushing him over. You're just centered around one dude, Christian McCaffrey. That's your offense. That's about it. And what did we do against that offense last year? It was just either hurt Christian McCaffrey or hold him to like 50 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So offensively, what do you see, and what do you see about this new coaching staff change?
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, offensive line, I think they've, added some good pieces. Russell Okung, I think, is a solid left tackle. That helps them, I think, dramatically. It's better than playing, I think it was Greg Little, who they had there last year. So, yeah, I mean, adding Russell Okung, I think adding Matt, I'm going to butcher his last name, but I think it's Paradis. He's really good. I like that addition. I think that's an upgrade over Ryan Khalil, who was really good, but he was getting up there in age and kind of slacking over the last couple of years. Wasn't as productive. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think, offensively they're not gonna do much to scare defenses. DJ Moore, I think, is a decent receiver. Curtis Samuel, he had some big playability, but they just don't have much to work with. I mean, obviously Christian McCaffrey is a great player and he earned the contract that he got, and that's going to be their offense. I mean, they're going to run it through him. They're going to throw it to him. So they're going to do a lot of things with, involving him in the playbook. And that's, I mean, like you said, that's what you're going to have to contend with and stop and try to contain him. And if you do that, I think you can get some pressure on the quarterback because, looking at the right side, I think that's, an area of weakness on their offensive line. But I mean, I'm not expecting much from their offense, unfortunately, for Carolina Panther fans. It's going to be a struggle.
No, I agree with the offense, but I'm looking at the group chat. Guys, this is for everyone in the group chat. Just listen to this.
Everybody love everybody!
Seriously, guys, come on now. So, I mean, there's a big argument of what is an offense better at, moving the chains or going for the kill, and like they're kind of going back and forth on that. Yeah, I mean, so to touch on it, I guess there's a lot of. I mean, guys, stop getting so angry. I mean, Tom Brady, yes, he's the king of dink and dunk. I guess that's what everyone likes to call him. But Bruce Arians he goes for the kill. He rather finish it in one play than go 10 plays. There's so many ways you can make mistakes in a 10 to 15 play drive. Is when you can just finish it in 5 plays. A lot of things got to go right for you to get a 15, 20 play drive going according to how you want it to be. There's so many. There could be flags. There could be holding. There could be a botched snap. There could be a tipped ball from the defensive line that ends up in an interception. We've seen so much of this shit. It could be O.J. Howard trying to catch the ball behind his damn back. I mean, there could be a lot of things that go wrong, guys. So I can see both sides. There's no true one answer. I mean, there's going to be times where Brady's going to throw one pass for 76 yards for a touchdown probably this year. And then there's going to be a play where we get a long-ass 7, 8 minute, 10 minute drive because Brady's just, you're not going to give me the deep ball? Fine, there you go. Because they keep covering Mike Evans. So it's not necessarily force the issue of it has to be a dink and dunk offense. It has to be, throw that fucker right up his ass. Like, come on. It's more, what is the defense going to give you? And I think that's the difference is what you're going to get in a cerebral quarterback as opposed to a guy who's just pushing it. I mean, and it's not necessarily Arians saying you have to throw the ball deep every time. There's other options.
Yeah, I think, and that's what people, I think get a little confused with this offense particularly. And it's an offense that's designed to attack a defense, and it's it's an offense that can attack a defense in multiple ways, and there's multiple options, like you said. It's an offense that is very dependent on quarterback decision making, and when you have the best decision maker in the league, that's going to help you run this offense to its full potential. And when you're able to see things and able to understand what defenses are doing pre-snap, you're going to be in better position to win post-snap. And so whether it's throwing the ball downfield or whether it's throwing it short, this offense is going to do what it takes to move the ball successfully and score points. And this scheme works. I mean, we've seen it work. We've seen it score a lot of points and be effective and efficient when it's not turning over the football. So Yeah, I mean, I can see it where it can be an argument as far as dink and dunk versus, going for the big play. It's going to be a balance of both because we're going to have the right decision making back there consistently.
No, and I agree. And then bearing offensive line holds up, bearing our elite receivers and tight ends get open. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and it's just timing. And that's the biggest thing for me. We got to get our timing down. I know they're practicing little by little. And June 10th, things open up, correct? The facility opens up June 10th.
Right.
So, I mean, let's see what happens. I mean, I'm excited for that. There's going to be a whole shit ton more news coming out. We're going to be able to talk about stuff. So, every Buck fan should be hooting and hollering. You should be hearing this all over the damn place. So,
Yeah.
But let's move on to now. Let's look at their defense. So, you look at biggest addition, Derek Brown. Middle of the defense, nose tackle, going along with Kawan Short, Brian Burns, Florida State, speed edge rusher.
Yeah.
And then you get
Stout.
longer. Yeah, I mean, I think obviously he's building through the defense, right? I mean, Gross Santos, Derek Brown, Kawan Short, Brian Burns, Shaq Thompson, speed linebacker. I don't know how the hell they're going to fill in the hole. I don't know if Whitehead can fill in the hole for Kuechly or not. Obviously, you can't fill those shoes, but they're just trying to get faster, bigger, stronger, everything on the defense. Jeremy Chin, wow, Jesus. So, I mean, obviously they got bigger. Eli Apple, roast his ass. Dante Jackson, roast his ass. I mean, their secondary, obviously a weakness, a rookie. Oh, please, baby, please. Other than that, the defensive line looks young, talented. They could grow together. I'm sorry. Mike Evans against that. Chris Godwin against that. Oh, and then OJ and Gronk against smaller linebackers like this. Please, just that's my 2 cents. Go ahead, Plus.
Yeah, I mean, defensively they've added, obviously up front. You look at it, they have, a very talented group. Obviously with Kawan Short, I think he's, the beast up there, and then you add a Derek Brown so you have a very strong interior as far as defensive tackles, and then with your edge rush and Brian Burns, who I thought was very good for a rookie last year, and he's going to provide something off the edge. And then you added a Stephen Weatherly, who's good. I like his game, and so and then the linebacking core, like you said, is young and athletic, so they can do some different things there. Secondary is going to be their biggest weakness, and I think secondary is going to be their biggest issue. Eli Apple and Dante Jackson, even though Dante, I thought, showed some promise in his rookie year, that's where I think you can expose them. Obviously Trey Boston, I think, is a good safety, but then, you have a rookie in there as well. So there are going to be some growing pains defensively because obviously you lost some, key pieces that they had over the past couple of years. And then offensively,
Bradbury,
I think,
right?
Yeah, Bradbury going, and so you're asking some guys to step up into some roles that they haven't been placed in, before. So it's going to be different in how they run things, and it looks like they are shifting more to a 3-4. I guess they were a 3-4 last year, but I believe so. Yeah. So now they're shifting. I guess they're taking that, to the bank now. So, but it's going to be a struggle for this team. Just looking at the overall roster, obviously, like you said, new coaching staff, so there's going to be new learning things that they have to get used to, and schemes are going to be different. New quarterback. They don't have Cam Newton back there, so it's a whole new dynamic and how they're going to utilize everyone. And so, I think it's going to be trouble for Carolina, unfortunately. I think they'll be still competitive. I just don't think they'll finish games, and that will end up, hurting them as far as record-wise.
I mean, think of everything to sum it up, what you just said. You get a new coaching staff, new head coach, new vision.
Yeah.
To go along with a new quarterback.
Right.
That's going to have to learn this new system. I guess it's Joe Brady, the same kind of concept. Because he obviously came from the Saints. So in that fashion, okay. Either way, he has everything to learn. New weapons, new offensive line. His offensive line's not anywhere near as good as the Saints was.
Right.
And then you look at the defense. They just lost their best cornerback. They lost their best middle linebacker. And now they have a new influx of youth on the defensive line. But they all got to learn a whole new goddamn defense.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell you expect them to do. I honestly think it's going to be prototypical of what the Matt Rule trend is. He's going to suck ass that first year. I almost think he's going to try and struggle, but they're going to try and make it aggressive and literally make mistakes at full speed is what he's going to say. Let your athletes work, and we'll learn on the go. And it's pretty much how they got to do it. They shit the bed. Let's come up later next year or the year after. But I mean, they just, to me, they don't have really an identity at all right now. And that's the Carolina Panthers in a nutshell. Yep. And I hope they go 2-14. Before we go on to the next subject again, I'm going to post it again. I know you guys are probably getting annoyed by this, but RBT, Real Bucs Talk, like, subscribe, comment, help us out, guys. You know what to do. If you haven't liked the video yet, and you guys are chatting it up all in the group chat, go ahead and just take 2 seconds of your life. Hit the like for us. Hit it for Pless. Of all people, hit it for Pless. But let's actually look up what they're talking about. He says, TBT, look at every loss. Oh, I guess they're talking about the Mahomes and 49ers things. And again, J.L. Moore said, Carolina in a toilet bowl. I agree. But, guys, move off of the argument of Mahomes and Drew Brees and Tom Brady, that stuff. Come on, guys. Let's just progress forward. But this is something kind of cool that I saw, I guess, ESPN's doing because there's nothing else to do because there's nothing on. They redrafted the NFL with 128 picks, foundation players across all 32 teams. And then I scrolled down a little bit. I laughed at this. They said, what about the other 20 starters for each team? The rest of the starters' rosters are made up of average level NFL talent. The first name I saw was Donovan Smith. Identifies as players such as Donovan Smith, Harold Landry, and Malcolm Butler. I almost want to screenshot that and send it to Donovan Smith, see how he feels.
All right.
That's that. Malcolm Butler, wasn't he a Super Bowl MVP?
He was a key part, yeah.
Well, he's a average player.
Yeah.
But I wanted to just go over Tampa Bay. So obviously they took Tom Brady yet again.
Nice.
So looking at their 3 or 4 round mock draft, do you like it? Do you hate it? What do you think of it? Would you have taken this quarterback first? That's 43 years old though.
It's
Jenna Lane.
Yeah, I mean, I probably would have went a different way. I probably would have waited on quarterback because there's a lot of good ones in this league. But that's a good roster. I can't argue with the picks. I mean, Brady's good. Kamara, that's a hell of a tandem right there. And then Chris Jones, I think, is fantastic. And then Kenny Galladay, I mean, I think he's underrated. He's a really good playmaker down the field. So, yeah, I mean, I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, I think she's just still so excited over Tom Brady coming here. Because you don't build a franchise.
Yeah. I mean, she says it right there. Wanted a proven quarterback versus potential, and that's perfectly fine.
Hey, touche. Yeah. But I'll try and find the actual draft while you discuss this. But someone asked chances of Freeman being signed by the Bucs.
Yeah, I mean,
Freeman.
Yeah, there's been reports, and then Devontae came out, saying that he would be interested, but I just don't think the Bucs have really tried that hard as far as going after him. I'm sure they've talked with him, but it comes down to money, and the Bucs don't have a lot of money right now, and they still have to sign their own draft picks, and they still have open roster spots for veterans. They say they might want to add as the season gets near, so. There's going to be some moves made, I still think, to create some cap space, whether it be restructuring contracts or letting someone go. So, yeah, I mean, Devontae, I would like to have him here. I think he'd be a good addition, but I just don't feel like it's going to be something in the cards right now.
Yeah, I don't know if he touched on it. His little tweet about, stop being in the media.
Right.
And that kind of says it there. Those are going to be rumors. Everyone's going to want to say something or report it first. That's why I really don't like this media crap of pushing things out first. And, I said it first. Once it happens, it happens. I know they get really, I'm not going to say butthurt. They just get really sensitive with the subject of, but I said it. Give me my credit. Okay. I know you get your leads and stuff. But it's more, But I guess if that's the name of the game, if you're media, that's what you got to do, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But this new day and age of media that, or Twitterverse or YouTube world, people think that they're what is this word I'm thinking of? Fake media, or what is it called? It's like the outsourced fan media. I don't know what the hell it's called, but they try and push fringe media. Fringe media. They're like, oh, this is happening. I hear rumblings. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
But J. Elmore said, "Stop yelling at me, Mark." Sorry. Let's keep going down the line. I know what weapons we have, and I'll take it on faith that Brady will live up to the hype after 18 playoffs and 9 Super Bowl appearances. Jeez, yeah. Damn, that's awesome to hear. J. Elmore said Gallimore is good if Stafford is healthy. Agree with that. I mean, Stafford looked amazing in his first few games before he got hurt. He would be gold. Alex Fox said he would be gold catching for Brady. Catching the ball out of the backfield. Talking about Freeman. Let's see. Touch on the tweet. J. Elmore said he was available prior to the draft. Don't think they draft Vaughn in the 3rd if they think there's a shot at signing Freeman. I agree with that too. Still, a pass-catching veteran that can have an elite effect or immediate effect on the offense, I think is something to value, and I think there is a way to fit him on there. It's just, do they want him? And then Alex Fox touched on it again. He said he's desperate for a team. No way he's going to sit out the year. He's not going to. If not, Bucs, who else signs him?
I mean, we will see. I mean, it just depends on, again, it comes down to contract and, two teams or two sides, I should say, to tango.
2 teams to tango.
Yeah, 2 teams to tango. Yeah,
Devontae.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think Devontae is obviously interested, but yeah, I mean, it comes down to price.
So this is a really good point right here. TV Teams 4 says, I think fans are severely underestimating this team. We all had our concerns going into last year with SMB, Sean Murphy Bunting, obviously, Jamel Dean, Devin White, and Scotty Miller. And, yeah, I agree with them. We're underestimated, but we're also really getting a lot of hype, and that's something we're...
Yeah, I wouldn't say we're underestimated. I would say we are getting enough attention right now. I think ESPN is definitely hyping us up. I think you've seen guys out there that have said we're going to win this division. So we're definitely getting some respect. And I would actually like it the other way. I think we should be underestimated because we haven't proven anything. So I would rather see us, not be talked about. But, with Tom Brady on this team, you're going to get attention. You're going to get national media. And the Bucs are definitely getting that, So I hope they take it the right way, and I think they are. They're going to let it fuel them, and I think this team is ready to, take that next step. But we have to wait and see. They have to go out there and do it, and we just haven't seen that yet as Bucs fans. And we know that feeling of, here we go again, So we gotta wait and see and see what happens. But I'm excited, and every fan should be excited. I think there should be no hate in this group chat. There should be no arguments. Let's be excited about this team. Absolutely. The past is the past. But at the same time, we got to go out there and get it done.
And I mean, I fully agree. There shouldn't be hate. I mean, you should look at it this way. We could do both. We can do the dink and dunk. We can do the blow it off the top. We can do both. Brady doesn't have a weak arm, okay? He can make every throw. Don't worry about that. We have every weapon that can make any decision. We don't have slow guys. We don't have just big guys. We have everything.
Right.
And that's what I think he's saying, underestimating. So the talent is there. It's just we got to utilize them and attack.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, we're going back in the tape, weekly, and we're looking at these guys. We're adding, more guys to the film study. So when you're looking at this offense, there's a lot that this offense can do. It's not just down the field, and I think we're going to show that as the weeks go on and we get closer to the season. We're going to see how diverse this offense is, and it's very productive when correctly used and used the right way.
It's true. I mean,
absolutely.
But I mean, this is the good part of us doing these film studies, guys. So I'll key in on one guy to see if they are really that good or if they're shit in the bed. And once I look at different perspectives, so I look at it from a wide receiver perspective, look at it from an offensive lineman perspective, but it's the same damn game. And seeing, okay, well, this is why it got messed up. Because the timing got thrown off. Or just he didn't step up forward. Or some little things like that. But the thing is, I'm also seeing the route trees that they're running. It's not just 4 verticals every damn time. You're seeing diverse, like just everything you want to see. A short, medium, deep. You're seeing a lot in this defense or this offense. So just get excited. I mean, Tom Brady's your quarterback. And like he said it earlier, it was 18 playoff appearances and 9 Super Bowls appearances. Jesus, in 20 years. That's just
good.
Amazing to me.
Yeah, that's outstanding.
But before we leave, there's a couple more things. Brady is the smartest quarterback in the league. He will pick apart the other defense. That's
Agreed.
SM down H9. Yeah, 100% agree. And then Raymond, one more time. He says 2 players they could redo deals on to free up cap space is Rob Gronkowski and Shaq Barrett. And Raymond is badass in Facebook on the cap space ordeal. I will 100% endorse Raymond on that. He was schooling us on that. I was like, what the hell is... You tell me. Where do I carry the 0? And I don't know. But he's good with that. So, yeah, Gronk has $10 million for 1 year. If he wants to stay with Brady for 2 years, restructure, right? And Shaq, let's see. Long term, but a little bit less. So things could be made. Because he made that point about they may want Freeman, but they don't want to have his price. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's simple answers right there. But, I mean, other than that, guys, we've been running over the hour. It was awesome in the chat, guys. Thank you for contributing. I know there's a little bit of arguments here and there, but it's all good and fun. It's good debate.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
That's how you debate.
Yeah,
right?
we're giving you guys a hard time.
Yeah.
No, keep it up. Yeah, just keep talking away. Whatever you guys want to say, bring it.
But keep bringing all the good stuff. Other than that, one more last time, like, comment, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the show. With all that said, guys, go Bucs. And have a great night.
Go Bucs.